Welcome to Captive Conversations. I'm your host, Adam from Captive Wi-Fi. Join us as we dive into behind-the-scenes stories of hospitality leaders exploring tech, operations, and marketing through the eyes of the experts. Let's get the inside scoop together. Hello, everyone. This is episode 21, and to commemorate episode 21, I finally tracked down Eli Nadel from Twice Baked, who I've known for a very long time. I don't think we were both grey when we met, so I don't see really much grey. It's not really grey, is it? It's a bit,
Toothpaste.
It's lighter. It will be like this one day, I think. But Eli from Twice Baked, give everyone a wave. There's a little wave there for everyone and a virtual wave for other people. We've known each other for a very, very long time.
Long, glorious period.
Yeah. I don't know. How long is it?
14, 15 years old?
Jesus. God, I think I had hair. I think I had hair when I met you, which is, geez Louise. So I'm honoured to have Eli. I've known Eli for a very long time. It has been an amazing ride with your journey, and I think this is going to be awesome because your fucking story is great. So I know most of it, all of it to be fair. And we've been on the ride, we've been on the journey with you on that ride.
Together.
Yeah,
you've been supporting all the way through.
So it's been a great one. Hold on, which one's mine? Speak a second.
Hello.
Yeah, okay, that's your one. Okay, sorry. We had some technology challenges yesterday or early this week where this camera went off and this one's on. So I'm going to keep an eye on that camera because I don't know what's going on, but and maybe it doesn't like me recording too much. So thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to my podcast studio. I spoke to someone today and they were like, "Oh, your studio looks awesome," and I was like, "When you come and have a look round, you'll see it's like a break area and then all my tech stuff's over here. So everyone thinks it's all glamorous." And some guy said to me today, "Are you going to rent it out, your podcast studio?" I was like, "You don't really understand here. It's not a studio." So,
I think you're downplaying it. It's great, yeah.
Oh, thanks. I had the air conditioning on. That's why you like it.
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay. So we're going to start with the two questions from the last guest, which I just threw in you a second ago because I'm that prepared. And that was Ruben from Kovo. And he says... what is the best system you've ever used?
Best system I've ever used. So definitely it'd have to be Trail.
Okay.
Trail is one of those great products that allow you to build out what a day in the life of a team member needs to be. Mm-hmm. We're a big philosophy is people ask you what you need to do next. They're not prepared to succeed for the day. Trail, you can set everything out. The fact that it's integrating with Zapier allows you to be really clever in regards to how you can push data across, how you can take data, create automations, calculations, push it back, and just really simplify the operations for the operations team.
And I guess also make someone, and that's their task for the day. So you can sort of get those reporting pieces of, you didn't do that.
Absolutely. Everything is timestamped.
Yeah.
You have corrective actions, corrective measures you can put in place.
Yeah.
You want to make sure someone's done it, you get them to take a photo.
I think the word I was trying to find, I did come to now, is the accountability piece, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's a big bit. And it's hard, right? Because if you've got lists and checklists, there isn't time for anyone to sit on top of someone nowadays.
Absolutely not. And also you want to be able to give your team members the ability to go and operate with themselves without being watched over. I know that when I was in restaurants, if I had someone watching over my shoulder, I would absolutely make a mistake.
Yeah.
The pressure of it. But if I had a resource available to me that had a clear video, clear instructions, I could take the time, process that information, and everyone learns in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to watch a video to learn something. If it's a text, I switch off pretty quickly. Other people are different. Trail allows you to kind of tackle all of those elements. It's been a staple.
Let's bring that a tiny bit more if that's okay. Sorry.
No, it's been a staple within our kind of implementation processes from Chilango days.
Yeah. Did you had it? I remember you had it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, how do you use technology to deliver a great customer service, or how do you advise? I mean, it's different because you're obviously not an operator, but I guess you could do for both parts.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, everything we do is about elevating the guest experience. So, what we aim to do is to take out those mundane tasks from the restaurant operations team, leverage the head office team so they're more of a value-added service versus a functional service to the teams.
Okay.
So, whether that be is, structuring your point of sale in the correct way so that you have very few button depressions, that your inventory management solution has the correct product list, that your leave planner within your staff labor, within your labor scheduling solution.
It's a range of solutions.
It's a range. It has just put it
There
itself.
isn't one to provide the best customer service, is there, I guess?
No.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. And every restaurant is different, and every hospitality business is different. So I don't think there is a perfect solution. There's just a more suited solution and tech stack for them.
We'll talk about tech stack in a bit. Okay, so we're going to go on to the standard questions, which is the first one is best hospitality experience.
Free burrito day at Chilango. Back in 2013, we were opening London Wall.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, we opened Brushfield Street.
Yeah.
My beautiful wife was 8 months pregnant, and she ran all the training.
Oh my God.
My current business partner is Zach Cooper, as a brewer.
Hi, Zach.
He was leading the charge in terms of like delivery.
Yeah.
And we absolutely smashed it, doing 700 burritos an hour over peak, multiple hours on the end. It was just a
well-oiled machine.
It was one of those things that, I think about it now and I get goosebumps down.
Yeah.
It was just the team worked super well together. We were hyper-focused on one mission, serving fucking outrageous food.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I touching on back to those days, I tell people about, I think, King William Street at peak times, 1,000 burritos an hour, like churning through that. Obviously took a bit of time to get there, but I mean,
absolutely
mental. Okay, I get you that, because I still, to be fair, there are a couple of Chilangos left. I know they're not actual Chilangos, but they're still there. And before they finished, they transitioned. I went to one in Brewer Street, and I sat and had my bullet that I asked them to create, and yeah, it was. I think even to the end, it was pretty good.
Yeah, fond memories. I still have multiple tattoos. Stamped all over me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just reminds me.
All the burns.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, best hospitality tech.
Flint.
Okay, yeah.
The landscape is completely changed now. You cannot just be a dine-in restaurant, dine-in hospitality business. The economic climate around making money on delivery is even more complex.
Yeah.
Flint absolutely solves that. And the team behind that, Frederick and the team behind that, outstanding, great bunch.
Yeah,
really, really love it.
I'll put it in the show notes for people. I think when you mentioned to me in the beginning, I hadn't heard of them, and then I met them at the show, at one of the shows.
Yeah,
the power of it is pretty awesome.
And there's nothing on the market that's doing it.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple of existing businesses that tried to do something like that.
Yeah,
but Flint just does that.
So just so people understand, what is Flint?
Flint will connect with your third-party aggregators. It'll look at your order basket value, and it'll make recommendations based on that order basket value on what promotions, discounts are best suited for those individuals. So it's real-time problem solving.
Yeah.
It's really hard to solve things next day. This solves it in the moment.
Amazing.
And more importantly, it actually just helps your marketing teams and your operation teams really understand, well, how do we leverage this shift and this menu to kind of the best outcome.
Because it also checks like the promo, you're putting promos on, right, as well?
Absolutely, yeah. And it creates those.
Yeah.
And it creates those kind of discounts and meal deal options in real time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll put it in the show note. It is an awesome tool. I think anything you can add, especially on the delivery side, to make things easier for people and also make more money.
Absolutely. And also leveraging that delivery market, it's not going away.
Yeah.
It's here to stay. So we, as restaurateurs, we have to learn how to trade with it. You know, you got to trade with the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And it's an expectation. If you want your brand to do well, you have to have both of those options available.
Yeah. I think also back in the day, it was the average of, I'm going to whack, like the local restaurant would whack 20% on top of everything and go, I'm going to charge. And it's very different now. In the beginnings of when restaurants, if they didn't get in early, they wouldn't think about the promotions. They would just go, I'm going to charge 20% more for everything. But the landscape's changed now. Everything's changed.
The customer's more savvy.
Yeah.
You know, and so right. We as a hospitality industry have to evolve.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Okay. So I'm quite excited for this part, to be fair. So, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to your journey to here. Oh, there you go. There's someone at my door, but I don't have to worry about that one. But the guys can deal with that one. So, let's talk about the journey to the UK. Where did you start? I mean, your LinkedIn just says Chilango, but what? Sorry, we're getting interruptions here from the doorbell. But someone will get the doorbell at some point and will answer the door. I love this. It's gone.
It's gone.
Okay, good. Sorry. Interrupting me. I won't cut this because I believe in first takes only. Okay. So, did you do hospo back in South Africa? Or talk to me about, just tell us the journey.
Absolutely. I'm a bit of a one-trick pony.
Mm-hmm.
I'm great at restaurants, suck at everything else. And I have very little interest outside of hospitality.
Yeah.
Irritates my wife. I only talk about food and cook at home. And have every kitchen gadget you can name. So on my weekends off from boarding school back in South Africa, I'd be washing dishes.
Yeah.
The real love for hospitality came. I was in Israel for a year when I finished school.
Yeah.
And lived on a kibbutz. And I had the pleasure of working in the kitchen on a very big kibbutz, and I was responsible for making eggs. So I would be cooking between 3,000 and 4,000 eggs every single day. For all these high kibbutz eggs.
I hope.
I make wicked egg in the holes. Really wicked egg in the holes.
Yeah.
And that pressure of having 10 frying pans going at the same time, people calling you behind.
Yeah.
My ADHD brain really loved that aspect. And
you hyper-focused on that.
Hyper-focused on that.
Yeah.
And I knew from that moment, this is the only thing I want to be doing. Wow. It's the only thing I want to be doing. I remember there was a slight break where I was helping my brother-in-law many years ago in South Africa, part-time, selling frozen smoothies. I think I lasted 2 weeks, be sitting around the desk and going, fuck, this is boring. I need to get back in the kitchen, back on the floor. So originally from South Africa, was lucky enough to work with some really great operators in South Africa, in Johannesburg and Durban. Moved over to the UK in 2008, and was lucky enough to start with Chilango.
That was your first.
And that was my first job, yes.
And what was the first job for Chilango here?
I was general manager of the Fleet Street branch. So they had just opened the Fleet Street branch. Yep. They were rebranding Mucho Mas in Islington.
Yes.
From Mucho Mas into Chilango. And I came on and was the first GM.
Oh wow! Okay,
first GM
at that store.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a large slice of humble pie coming from South Africa.
So had you done management stuff in South Africa?
Yeah, I'd run multiple large businesses in South Africa. So
you had some grounding in regards to...
and I had a business partner where we had a restaurant in Durban. Where I was a minority shareholder.
Yeah.
But I was the operating partner of it. So, I had never worked in QSR. I'd always been in kind of casual dining.
So what was that like when moving to QSR? Because it's very different. It's like
very different. Pace. Yeah, like I said, I ate a ton of humble pie when I first moved here.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was good, but I came here and I knew absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But, the team at Chilango, Eric and Dan, still love you guys.
Yeah.
After all these years.
I love them too.
Yeah. They were great. They really, they took the time to make sure that I felt included, and they were patient.
What site was that?
Site number 2.
Was it just number 2?
It was the first Chilango, but they're second on the site.
Yeah. And Fleet Street back then was busy.
Very busy.
I mean, that road was just crazy. I feel it here in my eye if I cycle past it with my little Lime bike, and I drive down. It's like a tumbleweed.
I know.
Going through, and
I spent many a Sunday night there counting stock. I have fond memories of that place.
Yeah, and the basement that you never used, right? Because that basement, I remember seeing that basement, seeing 2 pairs of those like Croc style shoes and no person. And I'd always say to him when I come back to the office, I'd be like, yeah, chef went down there and never came back. Because it's like, it was just 2 shoes facing that way.
You get stuck dicing tomatoes down there and you're there for the whole week.
Okay, awesome. So you were there for the opening as well?
Yeah, no, I wasn't there for opening. Okay. I was doing my training at Mucho Mas when the opening was taking place, and then I joined. And I appreciate that, because the opening was too stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know the food. I didn't know the experience that we were building.
Was the activation the same as towards the end? Because remember, obviously, there were like bands towards the end, not towards the end, but towards the last couple they opened, there were like bands and everything.
Oh, it just got better.
Yeah.
Worse or better, both. It got busier, and there was more kind of excitement.
Yeah. And then, what was the adoption like for people seeing it? Because back then there wasn't. I mean, there was a few, like Peter's Hat was around.
Poncho. There was a couple of burritos.
Yeah, but there wasn't anything like what I think you guys were definitely quicker. Chilango was definitely quicker. Was definitely like the flavor profile. Everything for me in that brand was probably better than others that I'd seen.
I mean, Chilango really invested in the food. So they had brought on Luis Castro, who had spearheaded Chipotle's production kitchen. He spearheaded.
I'll shout out to him.
He used to run Cheesecake Factory production, and he really brought his expertise into the business.
Yes.
And he just raised the level and bar of the food. I mean, we were using anglais for our beef. I mean, fuck uses anglais, right? In the QSR environment. But it was absolutely...
But also, like, if you look at other burrito places now, no one has a freaking rationale for roasting chicken.
Yeah, a lot of it is a shredded pulled product that comes out, and we wanted to differentiate ourselves, and I think we did a really great job at that point. We used great quality product. We I remember we used to do a food tasting before every shift. We would have a meal, obviously, but we would actually taste individual components. If something wasn't right, it got thrown in the bin.
Really?
And a new batch was made. No discussions.
Wow. It's like Zan with the commitment to the burger.
Absolutely.
Very much the same.
And that's why Bleeker's where they are. It's because they just focus on the quality, and they do such a great job of it.
Yeah, I think it's important. I also find that some newer brands out there are also looking at that now. Like some of the salad brands that are out there now are really focusing on that flavour.
Absolutely.
In the day, there were these just bare salads.
Absolutely.
Now it's all about that produce and so on.
Attis, as an example. Attis, the team there, outstanding.
I will say, again, reminds me a bit of Chilanga. I went to one the other day, queue of 50 people queuing up. They've got their ordering platform, they've got the loyalty, they've got, and the product is just great. I'll do a link and I'll do a shout out to them as well. They also use Captive, which is great. But they're a great brand. I like the expansion. Are they opened they're open here already now, haven't they?
I think so. Right.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I was waiting so we could go there, but it's nice and it's quick. So there's not like there's others that still do the production line stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they've got that operational down. Are they one of yours?
Yeah. We look after.
There you go. That's why that's quick. Okay, and then so how long were you at Chilanga for?
So 8 years in total.
That's a good CV amount.
Yeah, it's
good.
And above anything else, it was just a great experience there. So started off as your general manager, moved then, and was lucky enough to be asked to open up the northern sites in Sheffield.
Yep.
Which was a real challenge. And I remember my previous ops director, Mike Baglieri, came back and said, you've created a Franken model that works just because at that time, that market wasn't ready. I remember when we first opened, we were hoping large queues. We put this great banner out and say, London Best Burrito. Someone walked past us and was like, this fucking ain't London. That was... So that was like a pinnacle moment for us, being like, oh, actually, no, we can't take this brand and move it out.
Yeah.
So, we worked really hard to create a QSR environment in a casual dining area.
Yes.
And,
because the outside London ones were much bigger. Like Manchester was a bigger environment.
Yes.
Food, like the food table, I think, and, bands. And really changed there were some other, I found it really funny because opposite Chilanga was Chango. You had
I remember that, yes.
There. But you guys had a much bigger footprint there.
Yes.
And that was awesome. That was really nice. It was weird for me because I'd seen it grow. Okay, so you went from general manager to...
to like an operations manager.
Yeah.
And then
was it operations and rollout as well? Or?
Yeah, so that then moved into like an operations project manager role, which basically I kind of headed up food development with Lewis, supply chain coordination, building restaurants, designing restaurants, maintaining the restaurants. And then had the pleasure working with you on the connectivity. And I think when I started working with you, that was the light bulb moment. And I remember us having a strategy session one afternoon and going, man, everything breaks. Like people keep telling me the internet is broken. And we got to that point of like, let's just consolidate everything into Support Wizard. There's one number. If it turns on through power and it's electronic, it goes through Support Wizard.
I have to say, it was probably another reason why we moved everyone into that, so we could take responsibility into that. I think for something that the guys who are just over there in that side of the office, they care about it. So I think on the IT side for us, and it's weird for me to say, I'd rather be the responsible one managing that connectivity piece and anything else that's plugged in. We say that if you can turn it on or your finger touches it, we'll help you with it. So I think,
and that was a turning point for us.
I think I remember walking down Beak Street with you, and you were going, "Man, this freaking connectivity thing's terrible." And
credit card machines going down, manager gets off service, our throughput goes down. It was a real nightmare. Like getting control of that. And that was that pinnacle moment. And as soon as like we got that in place, we tested that out. We then applied that to everything else. Maintenance, supply chain. And that was a huge turning point for the business. We streamlined things down. It didn't require this huge bloated head office doing mundane tasks. It meant that
Did you have Mantis as well at that point or not?
No, this was quite a while before. I think it took us a while to get to Mantis. Like we had to use a couple of other providers, but these type of things, you want to use those providers. You want to learn what you don't know. Like, we didn't know what great looked like. We had to make mistakes.
Must be learning, isn't it? Though that's every growing business needs to learn by the mistakes. I spoke to someone the other day who was like, we made loads of, it was Stephen from Point One. He was like, we learn from a mistake, and you have to make mistakes.
You learn
to make yourself better. And I was like, that's a POS provider. And and that was really nice to hear, because you speak to most software. Now everything's amazing. We've just we've invented, or not invented. We've made ourselves better. Blah blah blah. But it's really important to learn. Go through, learn those mistakes, and then make yourself better.
Absolutely. I mean, the philosophy we have at Twas Baked is, it's fine to make a mistake. You've just learned a way not to do it. Just don't make the same mistake again. Type of thing. Learn
and then
from
add it into your little build list, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay, so you went from that to food development and also working with the team, and then it's quite a long time throughout Chilango. So did the role change again or not? Did it sort of stay as that?
No, it stayed as that, and with that we kind of built a food team, and we had a kind of outsource most of the complex issues that we had.
So you could focus on the brand, basically.
We could focus on the brand and the people. Right? I mean, and we had really great team leading the people. I'm in operations, so I didn't do the leading of the people side of things. But and it just allowed us to really optimize things.
To be fair, I think you did have. I'm a fanboy of Chilango, so you did have good GMs as well. I think that's a founding piece of having someone who understands the business, taking that footprint and then moving them into the right place, because they really championed the staff as well. So the whole thing. I remember seeing the tomato cutter. I think when you introduced that one, when you just popped it in, you turned it and it popped it out, and I was sat there like this going, well, that's amazing.
But complex though, because then we had to work on the back end to get the tomato perfect coming in. If it was too ripe, it would then smush together. If it was underripe, it would blunt the blade. So we had this like really cool tomato color chart on the on the fridge door that every shipment of tomatoes come in, you would take out and you would measure against. Is it the right color? Similar size.
Probably the same thing, I guess, with avocado. I used to love that. I used to go in and see this little old, like 5 foot, I don't know, it wasn't all of them, but this really small person behind the counter just mushing and making the guac. And like literally this heat, like I've never, like obviously lots of people nowadays, or like the new QSRs will just get it shipped in and whatever. You guys.
We took the time.
Literally, I don't know how I was like putting it in, doing this, and just sitting there. And I think at the top on the menus, you had, today's guacamole was made by.
I
loved, because good props for them, because it really took them hours to do.
And that was also cool, because then we used to work with our growers to like find the perfect avocado, and then it would ripen to a certain stage, and then they would use the spectrometer to kind of measure the density of it. So it would come in perfect.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So we really looked back. We went all the way back to the source, and we like made the relationship with the source.
Clever.
Source manufacturer, and then worked with the kind of central distributors to create parameters and SLA around like perfect delivery, perfect product.
I guess,
again, making it easier for the team, right?
100%. Because otherwise, if you get 50 rotten avocados out of the rest, are not all hard, it makes everything
product and availability, right? I mean, you're going to run out on shift. And it's going to hurt sales. Or you have to take someone off the line. Real fun. Last one was really cool. Is chicken was a huge thing. I mean, we sold 60% of our menu was chicken at Chilango. And we ended up moving from cooking on a flat top into the oven, but an oven has like a bunch more parameters that you have to worry about. So we ended up installing a rational oven at our chicken processing plant. So they would then measure the moisture of the chicken once it came out. And then we had all the ovens connected to a server.
I remember that.
We're trying to get these ovens connected to servers.
I have to say, I have a fond memory of Eddie telling me that I need to put a data point in behind the fucking oven because they need to plug it. I was like, why does the oven need to be plugged? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you plugged? But now, I mean, nowadays it's freaking Wi-Fi built into them.
Yes.
But I remember you had to unscrew the back plate
it's just a real fact.
of the oven, and then get the cable in and then run it. I'm surprised it didn't melt off, to be honest with you.
They did melt. I mean, we had to replace them multiple times.
Yeah.
So we would actually send
central reporting of how. Oh, okay. So
and we would send the cooking programs from the server to so the team wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
For instance,
But then you had self cleaning, I guess, with the rationale as well, right?
Yeah. Again, how do you make it as easy as possible for the team?
Yeah. Because having a rationale and a QSR, now I don't think I've seen one for a while. I mean, I think Farmer J might have them, but I don't think I've seen any QSRs that I've been into that will have a freaking rationale sitting out there.
Yeah, it's definitely an investment.
Yeah, and the quality you get is crazy, right?
Great, yeah.
So were you doing multiple? Were you do pork in there as well, and chicken and others and different layers, or was it?
So no, we would cook the pork ahead of time in the morning, and then we would hold it hot. And we would have stacked ovens, one on top of the bottom, and would alternate between steaming rice and beans, and then cooking chicken.
So for multiple stuff.
Yeah, multiple, and the rationales are cool. You can actually like build cooking.
Yeah, different layers can do different stuff, right?
Yeah, you have different trays, and you can drop and drag.
Yeah.
Cooking this, and it'll tell you when to either flip it or take it out.
Hence why you had to centralize it, because the GM touching that would be like.
It's just too complicated for them.
Yeah.
The one thing we did struggle with is the noise wasn't annoying enough to get them. So I used to leave the Christmas song on all year round. And the team were like, can you turn this off? Open the oven quicker, take the food out.
Oh, I love that. So, okay, another one for you, because I'm going back in time. We were asked to put a timer on for hand washing.
Yes. Every 20 minutes, huh?
Yeah. So every 20 minutes, it had to, we basically got, I think we just tested it on one or two sides, an Android tablet connected to a Bluetooth speaker.
Yes.
And we got it to play. I think it was like a Christmas song. I think it was a maraca. It was a maracas. It was a
Billie Jean maraca.
Yeah. They had to go over to it, and they had to physically turn it off to stop the alarm. And I think that eventually went in the bin. But
but it built a habit.
Yes.
Right? It built a habit. So like, yes, it's annoying at first.
Yeah.
But then they get into it, and they know they have to wash their hands every time.
Yeah. It's. I also remember the mesh glove,
the cut glove.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That was like from the Dark Ages. Like, so you don't.
Important, right?
Clever.
Yeah, you don't want to cut your fingers.
Yeah.
And if you're chopping almost 150, 200 kgs of chicken in a day.
Yeah.
If you don't have one of those on, you're probably going to cut your finger at least once or twice.
Yes.
So this was it was a good moment for us when we kind of adopted those practices.
Yeah, I think, and then I remember you used to get the knives used to go away. The guy used to just arrive with knives.
Yeah, and that's normal. That's pretty normal.
An operator. I don't. There's no. I want to do that at home. I feel like I need to literally give my knives away to someone and bring them back like fully sharp. So hence why you needed the glove, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's super sharp. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So we're now down towards the end of Chilango. So we're coming to the end of Chilango. What was the last site you opened? Did you open? What was the last site you opened?
Oh, I can't even remember. Tooley Street. That was my last site.
Yeah. Under bridge. Okay, awesome. And then, what was the? Because obviously from there it was to Vita, right? Or was it a gap in between?
No, it was straight to Vita.
Okay, so talk to me how did you get introduced? Did they already have the kiosk in?
No, nothing. So
okay, this was way before even Chilango's first one started, right? It was
way before. Right? This is pre Vita concept.
Yeah, it was even before they opened the store.
Yeah, even before they opened the store.
Okay.
So I was really keen to take the ops director role at Chilango, but we really had like an outstanding ops director in place, and there just wasn't. I had a glass ceiling in that business. So Eric Polica suggested that I speak to Nick Popovici, who's one of the original co-founder of Vita. Met him, got on from day one, and joined as ops director and helped open the first location,
which was
near St. Paul's.
Oh, yeah, St. Paul's one.
The old
it was the one round the corner, over there on that corner location. I remember it.
And it was great. I mean, it was a turnkey. I mean, we not a lot of cash went into it.
Yeah, because I remember it had screens at the front already, didn't it?
Yeah, it had most of it.
It was, what was it before?
A sous chef.
Okay.
I think it was
a
sous concept.
I remember that. That was a expand to 12, 7 or 8 sites, and then I remember that one. That was a cool concept, to be fair.
Very cool concept. Yeah.
Even there, I remember the coffee straws were the nicest the smoothie and drink straws were the nicest straws I've ever seen in my life. They were like probably like cost them £1 a straw or something stupid. Like, it was super. Everything they had was super high end. On there. But so you lucked out. It was good tech in there already.
Yeah. Well, no. It was the introductory tech. So when I joined,
I'm talking about like the hardware for the kitchen was already done.
No, we replaced all of that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we replaced all of that.
Yeah.
So the first introduction to Vita for me was testing cooking methods.
Yeah.
So there was, Nick and Stefan came to me and said, we need to cook chicken and we need to cook these things. We want to cook them sous vide.
How do we cook chicken? Basically?
How do we cook chicken, basically?
Yeah.
So
I'm tech. I just want you to. I'll bring in the bits. You could just make it.
So I remember there would be many a night I would be sitting with 10 kgs of chicken thighs boxed on my kitchen table at home, packing sous vide bags, sous videing them the night, and then taking them to Nick's house the next day, cooking them, doing tastings, and then he would then be delivering to customers that were trying using the beta version of the app. Found a site, started to build, and then we opened.
So before you built, were people like beta testers?
Yeah, exactly.
Were you delivering food to them?
20, 30 customers a day. We were kind of making those. We had a selection of 3 or 4 meals they could choose from with customization.
So was that the plan as well? Was it doing that when you opened as well or not? Like the food delivery bits?
No, we weren't doing delivery. Just purely
just like testing.
Testing the app and just making sure we got some good feedback on the food. So when we started, it was all kiosk based.
Yes.
And ordering ahead of time. So what we wanted was people to be able to come in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, log into their computer.
Yeah.
And part of that process was they'll be able to set their marker and macronutrients. I want to achieve this today. Celiac. Whatever it might.
This is like way before everyone heard of celiac.
And I remember there was an idea passed across the table saying, we don't want to take cash. And I was like, that's ridiculous. How is that possible?
Yeah.
And look, I mean, and I had to accept, I was like, listen, maybe I need to kind of like take my blinkers off here.
Yeah.
And it worked great from the start.
So I have a memory when they opened of standing there and actually seeing people smile when you were able to choose the macronutrients of what you want. I want more veg. I want less protein. Yeah, and still to this day, there isn't anything like that that's out there. Yeah, and I think that I remember a friend of mine saying, he's like, I'm a gym girl. I go to the gym the whole time, and I get these protein boxes sent to my house, and I was like, and they come cold, right? And he goes, yeah, and you heat them up. Yeah, I said, how do they taste? He goes, they're okay. And then I brought him to one of the Vitas. He's like, this is amazing. It was about the same price. Yeah, to be fair, you had to just go and get it or pre-order it, but it was so interesting because he was like. This is amazing, because he would get like broccoli with no seasoning. He would get like plain.
It's very bland, right?
It was the gym stuff.
Yeah,
It was, and I hate people on the train. Did you get your at the gym? Did you get your protein box? And it's like people still do it, but like But okay, so side number 1 open. It was kiosk based only. It was an order ahead. You had the iPads at the front.
Correct, and you could order in store, and it was all food quality. So we had no microwaves, no freezers, no preservatives. Yeah. No additives in anything. Everything was cooked fresh on the day.
Everything.
Wow. Yeah, everything was done on the day. Yeah. Nothing carried over to the next.
And you had Stefan behind the counter as well, right? In the beginning.
Yes.
I remember being there. And
it was all hands on deck.
Yeah. I remember, and you had a Windows PC running, connected to a printer and some software.
It was definitely hacked together initially. Yeah, it was definitely an MVP. I mean, I remember for the first month there was no sales.
MVP, that's just like mental.
We had no sales for the first. We couldn't report sales. So what we used to do is we used to like count the boxes. Yeah. Like, great, we're putting out 100 boxes today. Yeah. And then I would then have to go back and count stock at the end of the day. Yeah. Well, I opened with X amount of chicken, I closed with X. I'm assuming, based on the portion size that we sold X. Yeah. So there was never like, oh, I've got a theoretical food cost here. Yeah. It's just like, I think my sales are X today. Yeah. Think we did okay.
And how did it take off? Because was it big? I don't remember big marketing for it. Was it big marketing for it? Was it just
not initially? No, we kept it really low key. Yeah. And then
you had to, because you don't want over influx. But
we had to learn the operation.
It's great for location. To be fair, I think that was quite a nice little piece of where it was.
Yeah. But it really took off, and I think it took off because we just really focused on quality. Yeah. And we really tried our best to make sure that order accuracy was high. So we would have someone at the end of the line actually checking every single meal against everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's a challenge as well. If you're looking at, I remember when at Chalango, because you went through going back to Chalango, a few different till iterations. You went from Radiant Systems over to Aloha, and then
Micros.
And then did you have Micros?
We had Micros at the stage as well.
And then you went back, to Syntegra, but using their product.
Correct.
And I remember the
sticky printers. The sticky paper.
Sticky printers, and black, because it was just it hit some heat.
Well, it was printers. No, the first issue. The the printers, the sticky paper we got didn't have like cut lines on it.
Yeah.
So the cutter would cut over
Yeah.
the adhesive, which
Yeah.
would then, the glue would then like
unrail, or you wouldn't stick on properly. Nowadays they're really cool because there's like there's a bit in the middle.
Yes,
It sort of like
yes.
properly stays.
Now it's designed.
But I remember you had, right, we're changing everything. I'm sorry I'm going back, but
Yeah.
I have to, just my memories. We're going to change it from make line to production line.
Correct. And that was called the 10G project. So we were doing 5,000 pounds a day.
Yeah.
Back in 2009, 10. And we wanted to hit 10 grand, but we just couldn't hit 5 grand based on the throughput that we were doing. We'd really maxed out.
Yes.
So we wanted to try the Leon model of, come to the counter
Yeah.
behind, and it smashed that. It was really good.
But then you had like 8 tills. So you had like
we had a lot of
5 to 8 tills.
Yes.
And you had, but then it flicked back to the other, it went back.
Yeah, but there was a conscious decision that, yes, it was good for sales, but the excitement about that concept is seeing your food being made. It's the interaction. And
I agree.
And the thing, remember that you said about the guacamole thing, who made guacamole?
Yeah.
What we always wanted was, if you prep the salsa in the morning, you serve the salsa on that shift.
Cute, nice.
So be like, I made it. It's great.
Yeah.
There's like pride in what you're
Also, you upsell more, right? So the challenge you have is that with production line, it's all well and good if you want to do, because you never had products. We talked about, I think eventually you'd have like product names like on the board.
Yeah.
You never, the challenge you have with QSRs, like a burrito, Chilango, was in the beginning, there's 1,000 different variations of what you want, right? So you've got X, Y, and Z, and then there's no products. And then eventually you did build some products.
We had to build some products
which
just
was
to
pretty
improve
cool,
speed of service.
that was the speed, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember when you reverted back from that process. Sorry, everyone, we are deep diving into it, but it's a really interesting story. That you end up having some of the make lines still, like there's the back end make line as well as the line.
Yeah, we had a secondary make line where we would then
really
use
help
that.
delivery and everything else, right? And or you had what was the ordering app? You had like I forget the name of it now. It was a company that opened in Canary Wharf, and they were doing like you could order on the app.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, but there were a couple of
something
ordering
like
apps where
that.
you could collect.
Yeah. We tried a couple of those.
Yeah, because you had the back line, the secondary line, and that probably steeled up because I remember when the Uber and stuff. I think you guys were one of the first people to have Uber.
Yeah.
And I have to say again, I'm sorry for going back, but our car team loved it. You know why? Because we were given £25 vouchers from Uber to test it because they were test this out because it failed like for the first 5 times. So the guys were really upset they didn't get their lunch, but then they got the £25 voucher back.
Nothing wrong.
Again. So they were happy, but that definitely helped. I remember the variation of changes. And then, so we'll go back to the other tech stuff. But okay, so we're into Vita. First sites in, no reporting, hands, seat of your pants.
Yep, and we just ran the business on the P&L.
Develop it. Was it both of them developing, or was it others as well at that point?
Well, Stefan was kind of spearheading the development side, and he had his internal development team, and Nick was kind of focused on business development, side acquisitions.
Yeah.
And then ultimately the brand moved away once we had opened.
Because you had 3 sites, right?
4 sites in the end and a central kitchen.
Yeah.
And there was also a dark kitchen in Canary Wharf, I think. But at that point, Zach, my business partner, had joined Vita.
Yeah.
And he had taken over from me when I had moved on from there.
So when did you leave after that period?
Yeah, so
you basically set the brand up, got it working, did all the food development, was like, here we go, set it up with them, and then
I moved on, and then they decided as a kind of strategic decision that they were going to move away from restaurants.
Yes.
And they divested from the restaurants and then focused on the technology piece rather.
Yeah.
And that was a good moment for me to move away.
So at that point, you were moving, or
yeah, I'd moved. I was moving on.
Because your bag is getting that stuff going, right?
Absolutely.
So then it was Black Sheep.
Yep. Then there was a short period that I was consulting between that.
Yoke?
No, Yoke's much for after Black Sheep.
Okay, interesting. So you're doing some consultancy after
Vita, yeah. Just with a couple of friends.
Yeah.
They had a couple of food courts and street foods.
Yeah.
Street food stands, and was helping them.
Yeah.
And then joined Black Sheep. It came on as head of food.
How many sites?
We were like 6 or 7 at that point. Not too many.
Yeah.
And a big focus on that was just implementing inventory management protocol.
Yeah.
So there was no accountability against numbers.
Yeah.
They were really.
But you started a food development. Did you say? Was
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, food, head of food.
started head of food, and then because of the accountability within that side.
Yeah, and the reason why, I mean, I didn't want to start building anything in terms of elevated food offering if we couldn't control, because we were just going to make the problem worse down the line.
Were they doing additional food as well already?
No, it was
just
pastries.
just coffees.
It was pastries. Yeah. Food sales were kind of single digits on sales.
Yeah.
So we really had to go in and just refocus supply chain.
Yeah.
And at that point, they had too many suppliers, too many different products. You know, one location was buying smoked salmon in a 500-gram bag. Someone was buying in a 2-kilo bag.
Yeah.
It was just no approved product list in any shape or form.
Yeah.
Cleaned that up, got inventory management, got an idea of where we were.
So what was the first inventory management platform there?
I think we were using Fourth at that point.
Sure.
And just the cost and the complexity of it, the team weren't bought into it. So we decided, we can spend a lot of time retraining this and reconvincing people that, hey, this
you've
is
got to have the
work.
buy-in, right? You've got to have the buy-in from everyone.
Or, instead we just said, no, listen, and I'd seen a lot of success working with MarketMan previously, both at Vita and
So did you start when Vita started? Did you use that when you first started with MarketMan, or was it before?
No, we had used a couple of versions. We built a spreadsheet, as everyone does initially. Everyone loves spreadsheets. And then
all you operators out there who are still using spreadsheets, don't.
Better solutions out there, guys. Come on. And then we used something else. I can't remember what we used. And then we went back to a spreadsheet, and then we found MarketMan.
So when did you? Which company were you at when you found MarketMan?
No, we were using a spreadsheet at that.
Oh, okay, fine. So this is
I think we were using CaterNet.
So Black Sheep was your first experience with MarketMan?
Yeah.
Okay.
First experience with MarketMan.
So then you were like, right, Fourth out the window, MarketMan in.
Yeah.
And then I remember, I think, sitting with you in a coffee shop when you were like, Adam, this is it. And I was like, I don't often get lost, but it was like the early iteration. And you were like, this is amazing. Look at it, can do all of this stuff. And I'm like, Ellie looks amazing. I've got no idea what you're telling me.
I was really excited when I first saw it. Like, really excited. Because it solved so many issues that I struggled with previously. And just to go back to the Chilango point, we were using spreadsheets at that point, and when it came down to recosting a supply chain price change, that was like a week's worth of work. I had to collate all different stock sheets.
You had Excel linked to Excels.
And then I had to merge everything together, and I had to run different scenarios on it. And then when you look at it at the end, it'd be like, how accurate is this? Is this the right Excel that's using? Is there another version of the Excel that was updated previously?
Yeah, what's missing?
And I would always present these numbers and say, I have 75% certainty that this number is accurate.
I have memories of similar to that, but like end of day reporting Excel sheets that our clients would use.
Yeah,
and they'd give me a call and say, it won't open. The file won't open. The master file won't open. And they put it onto Dropbox.
Yeah.
Everyone's Dropbox link is different, right?
Yes.
So they couldn't understand when they opened it where the original file was. So obviously we helped them source the original file and then linked it.
And then there's a copy of a copy everywhere.
Yeah, and then overwritten. And then someone overwrote the master copy. And then the guy left who built the code.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, the challenges of the master sheet of the reporting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why we always recommend Tenzo. Always.
Okay, so we are only the 19th person to mention Christian and Tenzo. Well, not Christian, but Tenzo. So shout out to Tenzo again. If you haven't listened to the podcast, it came out last week. It was awesome.
Yeah, great listen that.
Yeah, but that definitely helps with the real time. So okay, so when did MarketMan? When did you get introduced to MarketMan? At Vita or Black Sheep?
Initially Vita, and I was on my way out where Zach was implementing MarketMan, and then did some consulting, and then used MarketMan in those different consulting roles. Yeah, and then
so that stepped you into understanding it, getting the hang of it. Yeah, and then into Black Sheep. You're like, this isn't working with the current system. Let's move to this.
Absolutely. And then once I got into Black Sheep, I'd really gotten to know the MarketMan team super well. And through my journey at Black Sheep, when that came to an end, and twice.
Hold on, I'm so sorry. The Black Sheep journey was quite it was a freaking you went from how many stores to how many stores when you left?
I mean, I wasn't there long. I mean, my stay was short, but it was pretty intense though. So I think I left at 40 stores, 38 or 40, something around that. Yeah, it was a lot. And at that point, there was no supply chain strategy. the technology hadn't kind of been fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
We're using Revel at that point. Every location had a different PLU code for a cappuccino. So it made reporting. So we had to, I think I rebuilt Revel 12 times until I got to a point where I learned how to use their makeshift inventory.
Yeah.
Shit, this is great.
Yeah. To be fair, Revel it's a good product. It's quite a good product. I think it has sort of like lagged behind a bit of others, but it's still a beefy product. Of what it is.
It definitely requires a lot of hand holding.
Yes.
And it's very feature rich, but don't see a lot of people succeed with it just because it's just a beast to install.
So did you stay in Black? Did you stay at just food development, or did you? Because you did surely you did like operational stuff as well. You sort of like I felt like you were like a lot there.
They had a really developed coffee operations team.
Yes.
So I didn't touch any coffee elements, but tried to use my kind of experience within the technology space to try and help the coffee operations.
Okay.
So there was a lot of elements around. Revel doesn't have load balancing as an example. So you have 2 coffee machines. You'd need to create 2 separate category groups. One category to coffee machine 1, one category to coffee machine 2, where actually you want to bundle those together. There's availability because coffee machine 1 is making 1 flat white. Another flat white's just been ordered. There's a spare group head. So so we worked with Revel to try and figure out a way how we load balance those.
Because obviously 2 KDSs,
exactly,
and then the flow of that order goes to which flow. So you work with Revel to find that rather than setting everything to one, it understood which one to which.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so we wanted to kind of keep milky coffees on one side, Americanos on the other, milk replacements on the other, that type of thing.
And then did they have Trail yet, or did you?
Yeah, we had Trail already,
okay.
And we just worked with Trail to kind of beef that up as well. So that was a lot of checklist in there.
It's really weird. I mean, I'm not an operator, right? So when I go in and I see Trail, because we used to if we were going in, you had this like contractor thing, which is what I thought was really cool. Even before COVID, you had like you'd go in and you'd have to fill out the form.
Exactly.
I thought was great. But then I got to see some of the flow of questions, and I was like, oh my god, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Just for a coffee shop, every operator needs something. But it was awesome. The amount of stuff that was in there on a daily basis for people to do. But it's important, right?
You don't have to do everything, right? That's a bank of, hey, if this happens, how do I fix this?
Yeah.
And I remember when I first started using Trail, one of the team there was like, go and read the Checklist Manifesto. This really great book, and it highlights the difference between effective and ineffective checklists. And off the bat of that, we kind of then approached this kind of checklist manifesto. And I'm not going to create everything for you to do in the day. I'm going to create you a bank of problems.
Yes.
And then when a problem happens, you go and pick up that check. What that allowed us to do is really identify across all those different
because if there were problems, you'd be able to understand when
exactly which store at what time, what are these issues, and actually that really then highlights to us what are the common themes. Is it a connectivity issue? Is it a maintenance issue? Is it a supply chain issue? Because unfortunately, you can go to your restaurant, ask your manager how was your day, and all they need is a call out, and they've had a shit day. It's really hard to get under.
And also, you find that your managers won't tell you. So without having that in place,
exactly,
you'll have that ops meeting at the end of the month in your big room, and who had it? Why were the sales down in Great Portland Street? Blah blah blah. And they won't say anything. And then they tell you. So I think that's a really interesting point of if there is a problem, there's someone to at least mark it where there was a problem. And I hate using the word problem, but I will use it for this episode for you. And then you can do reporting and then resolution. It's really interesting.
Yeah, you can kind of see past the chicken shit in terms of all of that, right? All those problems. So that was a really helpful thing for us at Black Sheep. Where we were able to have a bird's eye view on the operations without hounding the managers. And we would be able to come back to them every couple of days and go, I can see you're struggling with this, and I know that other stores are struggling with this. We're doing this. What's your opinion? Do you have any feedback?
But especially at scale, though, because at scale, it's so hard to. They used to have meeting, like ops meeting. All the managers would come in, or the group GMs would come in. I quite like that. I've not seen that much of that, but they used to happen. Is it once a week or something? Or
we used to do that weekly, and we would expect the managers to come in and present their numbers.
But I have not seen that for a while. To be fair, which I thought was really good, because then they all get to talk to each other, and then there's common issues, and then gets brought up, and
and the present. I mean, we went in and talked to everyone about this is what could happen, this is what to do, this is how to fix it. Which I thought was awesome because that was a conversation piece. Okay, so
on that, we didn't let managers moan.
Yeah,
if they were allowed to moan, but they had to present solutions.
Oh, I like that. That's very nice. Yeah, then that gives them the solution to the solution to the.
Rate your partner, come into work with solutions.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, don't moan.
You can moan.
You can moan, but
it's a case event.
Yeah.
I mean, my team often get it from me. I'll call them in the morning and go, not asking for your opinion. I just need you to hear me, bitch.
Yeah. Or
give me 2 minutes and I'll be like,
or even better. How can we do this better?
Absolutely.
This happened. What would you do?
Absolutely.
Because that's something that we also do here. In the past, I'd get a bit stressed and be like, the supply is broken and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so on. So something we tend to do here is, okay, so that didn't work this way. What would you do let's have a chat about it?
Yeah.
Like, I would go blah, 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 this way. And I was like, that's amazing. Okay, so let's put that in place. Let's write how to do it and let everyone else know.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I've given effective change.
Yeah, they take ownership, right?
Yeah.
And they have, 90% of the time they have the solution.
Yeah.
They're on the ground, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so then leaving Black Sheep, say goodbye, and then Twice Baked.
So Twice Baked started.
Yeah.
And it really started because every day that I would walk to the office, I would walk past Yoke.
Yeah. In Broadgate Circle.
In Broadgate, yes.
In a little container.
In the little container.
Yeah.
And there were some mornings that I wasn't on time, that I couldn't wait as long. And it got to a point where I emailed Nick to say, love the food.
Yeah. It is awesome.
But it just takes too long.
Yeah.
I think I can help you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I emailed him on LinkedIn and then emailed him. I kind of annoyed him. And then thankfully he came back to me and we met for a coffee and then we met for a beer. And then started the next day working with him.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was just fantastic.
So what was the change? Because obviously that's an existing business going into. I mean, you did it already with Black Sheep, but you were different. It wasn't operationally. It was a slightly different turn. What was that like going in? And he's founder, first site founder, great product, great concept, great customers because he literally repeat customers.
Yeah.
It was like. My mate used to go. He worked in Canary Wharf. Used to go to Carluccio's just for coffee in the morning.
Yeah,
because in Canary Wharf their coffee was like amazing. They had a queue going out, and he's like die hard. And I felt Yoke was quite similar to that. You had like a die hard people getting your breakfast, getting your lunch, and so on as well. What was that like making effective change to a business? Because consultants is one thing, but you go in and was it like a deep dive?
Yeah, it was absolutely huge deep dive. So before we make any changes, just need to understand how do they currently work?
Yeah.
What's not working? So it meant that, for the first month I was washing dishes, working on the till, cleaning the floors, working next to the chefs.
In that tiny little space.
Exactly.
You say it like that, it sounds like it's like a humongous space.
No, just tiny. I think I definitely get in the way. I got in the way for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But once I'd understood the struggles they were facing to scale properly, for the first year, I'd worked on my own with them, and then after a year of starting Twice Baked, Zach joined the business as co-founder. And
so hold on, before you do that with Yoke. So where did you get to with Yoke? So basically, how long did you work with Yoke for? I mean, you're sort of still working with them now, obviously. What was because the question I think I asked was, what was it like to see the effective change in the business? Like, because you actually, because you said like, obviously the queues were longer, there were challenges.
Yeah.
What was it like working with founder? What was it like making effective change? What was his adoption like?
Yeah.
Because you're quite, no offense, but if you present something to someone the way you present it, people are like, yeah, it's really good idea. So it's challenging with different hardware and so on, right? So he had iZettle. I don't remember what POSI was. It was a Intelligent POS. I don't remember.
That's EPOS now.
Yeah,
we were using at that point.
So what was that like in going in and going, right, learning everything and then changing everything?
Yes, I mean it was challenging because there were a bunch of team members that were in the business for a while that were kind of stuck on their way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it not easy. It was hard, but I think.
And how long? And then from there, when did you poach Zach from Vita? When did he leave and go? I need something. I'm looking for something.
Yeah, a year after we started.
Yeah.
So 2017, he joined the business.
Yeah.
And
it was just you two to start.
Just us two to start.
Yeah.
And Zach is exceptionally good operationally, significantly better than I am in terms of he can really see everything.
Yeah.
In his head kind of pan out. So we decided that I was going to focus on more of the MRR and kind of building that SaaS side of the business.
Yeah.
And took a large part in the sales cycle.
Yes.
And then he handled majority of the practical operations.
I have to say one thing about Zach. He's the calmest man I've ever met in my entire life.
I know.
And
drives me nuts.
And nothing. When we spoke to him at Chilango, and then we spoke to him at Vita as well, it was just so. I felt calm leaving the conversation.
Yeah.
Because he was like, "Yeah, okay, let's do that."
Yeah, he has a great temperament, and he's the perfect business partner. I am overambitious. Everything needs to be done quickly.
Yeah.
He definitely kind of reins things in a pragmatic way.
I think
and we balance, and we kind of balance each other off.
I think that's quite nice because I spoke to Prithvi from Sentiment Search the other day, and he's got a CTO. It's a bit similar. He wants to go, I want to build. And he goes, my CTO is like, this is a really good idea. Let's work on that. And this seems like a good idea. Let's build on that. And I think that's really interesting to have that yin and yang.
Yep.
So okay, so you started with Yoke.
Started with Yoke, and in that first year, it was just helping the team realize that the way they're currently working isn't built for scale.
Yeah.
Ensuring that we had the right people in the team, and then refining those processes so that we could open our first site.
Yeah.
And the first site was in near to Lloyd's, in not Broadgate, New Street Square.
Yeah, New Street Square. In that little sort of cubby, like a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pod. Was it an old pod, or what was it? Was it?
Yes, it was an old pod. Yeah, it was not a pod. I think the pod was just a bit further out.
Oh, maybe
a bakery. I think this was beforehand, but that was such a great experience. And it was great working with Nick because it allowed him to focus on the design and the marketing. And he has such a great eye for that.
And look at the logo. Yeah. It's just first time. I mean, the logo and the original website. I mean, that sandwich has been on focused. That steak sandwich has been focused. I mean,
the steak
me drooling on it. Yeah, me drooling on that. Just when I tell people that, they're like,
it's delicious.
Yeah.
And what was really cool is that he just let me get on with the operations.
Yeah.
Designing out the kitchen, training the team.
I guess there was trust there as well now because
absolutely
you'd been there from the ground up.
Yeah, we had delivered EBITDA value prior to the opening. We went in and we're like, great, we need to increase EBITDA by 10%.
Yeah.
We have this period to do it. This is how we're going to do it. And we held each other accountable.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Lots of late night calls, I'm assuming.
Lots of late night calls. And, I was kind of working full time with him, but consulting as well. And we had been working with a bunch of other customers, and he was just such a great first customer to have. He was.
I'll be honest as well. Nick as well is I find him very calm and understanding.
Yep.
And when you explain something to him and you explain it the right way, he's got it.
Yep.
He's completely got it. So if you say, oh, this, and this, and this how that, and that's how that, he's just got it. And there's not many operators that we're speaking to. There are lots out there, but specifically for Nick. And shout out to Nick Philpott. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And what he's built. What you've helped him build as well, but his temperament and his understanding of business, he's such a bloody nice guy.
Yeah, and
I think that's what it is. He's just he's just a bloody nice guy. Yeah, that's what it is as well.
And he treats his people with respect, and
that's important. As you grow, right?
And that's why people want to work with him. And work for him just because he's
but also the product is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I mean it's an awesome product.
Yeah.
Like really. Literally, I cannot fault anything that they have done. And I'm a fanboy. It's like my new Chilango.
Yeah.
It is. If you haven't checked out Yoke, I will put it in the show notes as well. But it is the produce and what it is. So okay, so we're at site 2 with them. What was tech? Was it changed by then, or was it still?
Yeah, we had changed it. So we put it Centegra in.
Yep.
And then Vita.
So that wasn't Vita yet, though. Was it Vita? Did you do Vita on site 2?
No, I think Vita came on site 4.
Okay.
4. So.
Because that was probably when they first, then they did that integration. Because I think from my memory, the first Vita kiosk was Chilango London Wall, right?
Yep.
which I remember.
Yeah.
And I remember speaking to the team about that and putting it in. And we want 4 kiosks here, back to back, and we need cabling here, and this needs to be plugged in. And it looked awesome. I was like the first kiosk experience that we had, which was cool. So what was that like, putting that in? Because I remember I think we had a shared customer. Was it Wookit? Was that?
Yes, correct.
And I remember them being on Fleet Street as well.
Yep.
And I remember because I know cashless, and this is a cashless generation when not everyone was cashless, right?
No. People didn't like it.
No, and I remember the guy. I don't remember his name, but
Richard.
Yes, he sent me an email saying, "Oh, we've just received this complaint from this guy. You got to read it." And it was like a legal letter, because obviously Fleet Street is lots of solicitors down there, and this guy's legal right to pay in cash. And he'd written like a whole case analysis because he wanted to have his God-given right to pay in cash.
Yep.
And they still said no, which I love.
Yeah, people were pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. People probably queue up and be like, oh no, you couldn't queue up because that was all they had no tills at all.
No tills at
all. They were completely like.
But what we ended up doing though is that actually that's a great opportunity to surprise and delight a guest. So I'm so sorry we don't take cash. It's on me today.
Yeah.
That simple meal out.
You've won the customer. You've won them.
They become an ambassador.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. It's a bit like I think what Prec does as well, right? So they do the little surprise and delights. They give the general managers the opportunity if they see. I think you have X budget, wherever it is.
Yes, yeah.
And if you see someone comes in that haven't got the extra, you can use that. And I think that adoption is awesome because that's the surprise and delight. It is. Wins the customer over every time. And I've seen it in practice as well.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just a myth. I was like, they don't do that. But I've seen it and it's freaking awesome.
I mean, at Chilango, it was a big thing for us.
Yeah.
So you could give whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
It just has to be coupled with a story.
Yeah.
At the next buzz meeting.
Yeah.
Pre-chef meeting.
Yeah. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that, I think that's really important. Okay. So, more into market man. So we're now into a selection of clients. Obviously, people are finding you. You're building a partner network as well, reaching out. Are you reaching out to clients or are they reaching out to you? Because it's mainly operational. This is before like deep delving market man, right?
Yeah. So we've done very little or no marketing.
Yeah.
I think we've spent £200 in the last 7 years on marketing activities. So all of our marketing has been word of mouth.
One last question. The logo, where did the logo come? The first logo come from? Burger and chips, right?
Her father.
Same as Christian. You and Christian Tenzo have a link in. Okay, so we won't talk about the name, but the new logo is fucking awesome. But I remember you sending emails with that logo at the bottom, which I love because you're a bit of a joker sometimes. So the joker, I love burgers and chips. It's going to be burgers and chips.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. So again, as Chris from Tuck on Toast always says, and he has a great podcast too. I think 80 to 90% people is recommendation. So once you're with one person, and operationally wise, there is a big challenge for everyone in the industry to find someone that can help.
Yeah,
I think that's a big piece that people need. And then now, it's really nice to see now there's loads of people that are able to help.
Yeah,
and loads of good partners out there that can really help businesses. And we're speaking to loads as well, which is really nice actually because we can help positively. We're hearing horror stories from these consultants who didn't know us because we're. For IT wise and support, we're the same. We are recommendation only. We don't advertise with the hidden geniuses behind the tech, right?
Yes.
And then obviously I have Captive where I'm being more out there.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. So if you do a good job, that everyone will tell other people about you, and then it's sort of like I think you guys went a bit like wildfire, especially in QSR as well.
Yeah, right? And I think because we had our experience from Chilango.
Yes.
And also there's a couple of company philosophies that we stuck on from day one. So we don't take referral commissions for products that we don't service ourselves.
Yeah.
So from the start is, I'm not going to introduce you to someone because I earned some money off.
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce you because I think that's the best product.
Yeah.
That's going to help you solve your challenges in your restaurant.
Yeah. I think to be honest with you, we're a massive believer in the same. We have clients coming to us saying, "Oh, we'll give you a kickback." So the majority that we speak to. I'd much rather have a referral from their other clients to come to us and say, hey, use these guys.
Yep.
They're awesome. So when people say, oh, yeah, we'll give you a kickback, I'm like, I don't want it.
Yeah. Give it to the customer.
Right? So literally, we have a food hall at the moment we're speaking to who referred to us. We know the guy that's doing the consultancy and he wants to go, we were talking about Lightspeed.
Yeah.
And Lightspeed, they're like, yeah, we'll give you I was like, no. I said, I'm giving, this is a consultant that's actually working for them.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
Yeah.
He's the one that's with the client. He's the one that's going to build this. Let them have it. You know, we're doing other stuff, right? Because again, like you're consulting, so you're charging for other stuff anyway. So I think we're the same. Listen, if a 50 site company comes to you and you refer them, that's a different conversation, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm a massive believer, and we speak to lots of tech people, and there's loads more now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on to there's two of you. You're growing. When did the team grow?
So pre-COVID, about 6 months before pre-COVID, we had 2 people join the team.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, which was just catastrophic for us.
Yeah.
I think we lost 97% of our sales in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Because we're a pretty big number on some people's balance, some people's P&Ls. So we were the first to go.
Yeah.
So we told all our customers, you don't have to pay us.
Yeah.
We're still working with you.
Nice. We did the same.
Yeah.
We did the same. I think we had direct debits. So you can imagine what the finance team does the first time. So it's literally within 6 hours. Bing, 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 bing.
Just go cardless notification.
Right?
Direct
Seriously?
debit mandate cancelled.
I think our rates our rate on our company ballot, whatever it, not balance, but a company percentage on go cardless.
Yeah.
They weren't very happy, but I think they knew because I think everyone did the same.
Yeah.
So that was really important, and then that shows your value, and I think probably for you as well as us and other businesses who looked after their clients.
Yep.
After reopening, I mean, but you had QSRs open as well, still, no?
Yeah, there was.
So there's still somewhere.
There was still a lot of businesses, and they were trying to figure out how to trade.
Yes.
I think the big pivotal moment for us is we kept working.
Yeah.
We learned how to help our customers through COVID.
Yes.
And then MarketMan came to us and said, "Listen, you've been a great referral partner today.
Yeah.
Do you want to resell? We don't have much of a UK presence.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, very little.
Yeah.
And we snapped that up quickly.
Yeah.
I was like, absolutely, love the product.
Well, to be fair, you had been with them for quite a while at that point, to be fair.
But
and you'd seen it change and go better. And were you giving them advice to make the product better at that point or not?
Not really. No, we hadn't built that type of relationship with them yet. I think once they invited us to be a reseller of theirs, we started to work much closer with the team. Yeah. That's when we were able to work.
But you had like founder access, right? At that point or not? Was it?
Yeah. We were able to chat to Noam if we needed to. I mean, we didn't leverage that. I mean, he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
Only if it just happened necessary. But we were able to speak to the head of customer success, the head of sales. And actually, a big shout out to Matt Hardoon and Jordan Silverman. You two have been absolute legends over kind of helping us with MarketMan in the early stages and today. So
yeah, that's amazing. I think I remember talking to you about MarketMan, and I remember I remember you saying that the change you're like implementing stuff, and I remember the product changing throughout time. Yeah. So okay, so then you became consultancy, not as much, and
well, actually, it was about 80% of our sales was still consultancy work. Yeah. And it takes a while. As a reseller, you had a very small percentage of the monthly recurring revenue. So for the next 2 years, I was the salesperson.
Yes.
Doing business development, implementation, customer success.
You did the founder stuff, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I hated sales.
Yeah.
But you know what? You got to suck it up and do it sometimes. Right. Absolutely. And then thankfully, we grew. But
also, I think one thing I have to point out is if I was for me as a newbie to hit MarketMan, and yes, customer success was in America and you get sort of onboarded, it's still a minefield of a product. So I think the piece that you made really easy for customers, because we've got one of mutual customers, and the feedback we've had is fantastic, is that you get them. You get the customer, you understand the customer, and then the project's then thought out. Your experience and Zach's experience over the years have been like, we understand how challenging it is, hospitality operators. We know it takes forever. You dig out the information from them, and then you start doing more consultancy on getting the MarketMan onboarded.
Correct.
So I think it's hard, right? It's
very hard.
It's not just stock control.
No, it's not.
Because people see,
it's change finance.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
It's huge. It's how do you align supply chain finance and operations so that you have these great critical control points in place so that you can pick up on issues in the moment.
Yeah, because I think for me, I'm not an operator, as I said. We work with lots of operators. I don't know a huge amount of lots of stock control platforms, but if you can wastage. we find when I speak to operators, normally back then, it's probably better now. I don't see in my mind, as I come on operator, as I said, how wastage is linked to a stock. Well, obviously it is linked, but we speak to loads of people in the past, and they're like, yeah, it just written off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing when you look at your stock control system. It's not just counting stock. I think there's a big misconception from that Excel spreadsheet people have.
Yep.
And they have a stock control platform, but there's no
pricing irregularities, credits that we're passing back,
invoices, right?
Invoice reconciliation.
Yeah. See, for me, my brain doesn't go through why I don't know why. I mean, obviously, you would put it in, but some stock control platforms don't do that.
Yep.
It's just counting stock and then plugging into POS, right?
Correct,
and the item goes down.
Yeah.
So the item goes down, item goes up. Stock count comes in. So I think MarketMan really does need to have a different name. Or not MarketMan, or it's not a stock control platform, is it though?
Right.
It's a fucking ecosystem.
Yeah, it's a management system.
Yeah.
The same way as a kitchen display screen and a kitchen management system is two very different.
Yeah.
So Lightspeed has their own version, but
yes,
again, it's just a.
I think most of the pods have like a basic accounting version because they'll do that.
Starting point if you're new to the industry and to understand what that COGS calculation is and how to manage it.
Okay. So you started to do that more for them. You started to do the consultancy onboarding for them as well, right? Well, not for them, but for your customers.
Correct.
You would resell, you would onboard.
Correct.
And then what happened next?
And then about 60% of those customers enjoyed the experience of the onboarding and started to do quite a bit of additional projects.
Nice.
Where we would optimize their point of sale, make sure that the database was correctly built out and it was suitable for operations.
Nice. So that was actually a nice in, really.
Exactly.
So into ops, oh my God, they've just done this for us. What else can they do? Or was that you going, actually, do you know you could do
we used our customer success sessions as lead generation.
Yeah.
So, I really put the effort into spending as much time as possible.
Yeah.
Going into those meetings prepared, even to the point of I would go and eat lunches at customers prior to meetings.
Yeah.
And be like, great, this is what I observed from service today. This is what I was seeing.
Sorry, I can imagine some dodgy, this came freezing cold and it was dog shit. I'm kidding.
No,
but obviously positive changes, you would say, right?
Yeah, but we were also very honest. Anyone who's worked with me knows that I'm very honest about this.
Yes.
So, I say it as it is. Don't like it, Sorry.
You need to make it better, but then you want to make them more money. So our mentality is support the customer, help them expand, help them grow. We make money when they make money. And I think that's similar to you guys because you can see the growth of the business and from there. So I think it's interesting to point out and see some of the brands you work with and the efficiency of going in and taking an order like Attis, for example, or Yoke, and the drill down of operational efficiency as well as the other stuff that you do. Yeah. It's really interesting to see the sites you work with and the sites you don't work with. So, I feel like it's a case study needs to come out of like a not twice baked, but not mention the brand.
Making me blush.
Yeah. But, okay. So then we're on to more staff. COVID's finished. You obviously gave you a massive brownie points with those customers because I think in hospitality, you get looked after if you look after them. Yeah. So that's a nice thing. And then more referrals. And then when did the expansion outside the UK happen?
So through COVID.
Yeah.
Through COVID. So we got really, we did a lot of work in the Middle East through COVID. And as our global partner network expanded and our customers.
So did you find that lots of consultants found you?
Yeah.
Other consultants and they were like, this is what we need, or can you help with this and so on?
Lots of consultants, lots of other different point of sale providers.
Yeah.
And brands that were moving out of the UK into different regions wanted us. And then we were talking to local partners.
Amazing. And that's what it's all about, really. I think the partner thing is, it's really interesting in hospitality you see, but more and more consultants now, but more and more local partners and even technology partners. Yeah. Because then they can leverage what you do to make their product better. So I think that's a big point for anyone listening who wants to set up a business or even a tech business, whatever it might be in hospitality, that you're leveraging those partners or those consultants as well as technology partners and then wrapping it around, because I think that's a massive piece. Yeah, because they all talk to each other. Everyone's on Slack together anyway now. It's very interesting on that side. So I think
we're a partner business.
Yeah,
you're right. We're a partner business.
Well, that's how you said you don't advertise, so it's all very much into a partner will come to you, a consultant will come to you, and then there. So where are we now? We're now expanding out. We're now in multiple territories. When did that? And then Daniel started.
Yeah, Daniel's been with us for well over a couple of years.
Yeah,
now. And yes, where we are now is happy to say we've been acquired by the.
Hold on, let me to figure that. Yep.
Such an honor.
Oh, here we go. It said internal temperature too high. I love this thing. It's because let's turn it on again. That happened last time. At least I see it this time. Bear with me one moment. Cooler. Let's turn it on. Let's record. This is Technology Challenges in episode 21, everyone. You bastards. Right. Okay.
We're just learning how not to do things.
How do we learn how to resolve? How do we learn next time how to resolve this? Now, the air conditioning's on. This is the looking camera that's designed to work. I think what I need to do is not leave it plugged in.
Yes,
So I've learned with this one, which is still recording, which is an action camera. This one here, sorry, I digress. Anyway, okay, so Daniel started. He then helps with the Asia, I guess, and
well, he actually gave the business some structure.
Oh, okay.
So, prior to that, we had very little sales processes.
Yep.
There wasn't a kind of concise way of communicating what we did. Our website sucked.
It did. I can agree.
Yeah, it really did. So
did he help with the whole rebrand as well?
Yeah.
Or not? Nice.
Yeah, he helped with everything.
I like the new logo. Well, it's not new anymore, but it's been around for a while. But yeah. And the animation, to be fair.
Yeah, so he helped with all of that. And
nice.
He really drilled down into what do we do best? What are the people in the team? What do they need to be doing to succeed?
Yeah.
Do as I say, not do as I do.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like everything. We provide great support into other businesses, but we neglected our business.
Yeah. Well, it's growth, isn't it? The challenge you have is it's founder business.
Yeah.
There's your team, there's growth, and there's learning curves, right?
Yeah.
And when you bring people into the business that come from the outside, they're able to help you with process
Absolutely.
and management. I think that's a really important thing when someone comes in, to give them the flexibility to make changes or to discuss.
And
you guys are quite open anyway, right?
Yeah. And he had run multiple high value successful sales teams previously. We brought him on. You have to listen to him.
Yeah.
He's the expert.
Yeah. So then he was selling for you out there as well, or was he helping with the time difference?
Yeah, he was. So he's based in Australia.
Yes.
So we really appreciate that he works half UK hours.
Yes.
He has pretty unsocial hours.
Yeah.
But yeah,
sometimes he looks tanned, and sometimes he doesn't look tanned.
Yeah.
Depending if he gets the sun. But yeah.
Depends how hard he's been working.
True.
So he really helped provide some structure. Yes, he did do quite a bit of lead generation work.
Yeah.
Because we had no social media presence.
Yes.
We had no LinkedIn presence. We didn't even have LinkedIn.
So that's again, the business has started. You're growing the team. There's no real focus on that.
But I think no time, right?
Yeah.
Wasting no expertise. I didn't know what great looked like.
Yeah.
So I was so scared to do anything because I didn't want to come across looking amateurish.
Yeah.
So I just thought, well, no, I won't do anything, and I'll just wait until we have the capacity to do it properly the first time.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I should have just sucked it up and tried things. But hey, we learned, right?
Yeah, we learned.
Won't make a mistake again.
So, and we have technology challenges here as well. Okay, so they've come in. They've said, "I'll take Twice Baked. Thank you very much." What's the future looking like?
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Can you share stuff, or is it?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're 1 month in.
Yeah.
And we've had the best month we've ever had in terms of sales.
Amazing.
So we are currently working on how we integrate Twice Baked into the meal ticket family.
Nice, because they've got other products too, right?
They have multiple other products as well.
Yeah.
And we're working with department heads just to make sure that integration and implementation is kind of seamless and not getting in the way of anyone else's work.
Yeah. And how many people were in the group of the company? How many people are in the company before you got to
7 of us?
7.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
So we're a small team.
Yeah.
And we always want to continue being a small team.
Yeah.
And hopefully there'll be a couple of new hires that are coming on shortly.
Oh, amazing.
To the team.
Yeah. So is that now that they're now running? The Twice Baked is a team with inside, or is
Correct.
it all? Okay,
it's a team with inside meal ticket.
So that company will still not company, but the team will still run as in and grow. And the plan is to expand that team.
Yes.
And make the product excellent.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to be able to provide meal ticket customers. The white glove support that they really need to excel and leverage their business.
Yeah, I mean that's massive. I mean, any provider out there that doesn't have an amazing customer success team or a team in there to help their business grow, or even fix those challenges? Because there's always those difficult customers who don't want the product, and then now they can send you guys in and say, like, it's like the troubleshooting team.
Absolutely. And I think now that SaaS products have been around long enough, there is a very clear distinction between customer success and what professional services are.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think historically, because it's been new to the industry, customer success has been seen as professional services.
Yes.
But a lot of customer success issues are they don't really know how to fix challenges within the customer's four walls. And this is where we're able to then come in, and we're that really good split and differentiation between, hey, I don't know how to place an order versus I'm struggling for my team to press this button to place the order.
Yeah.
Or my forecasting is out for whatever reasons. And we're able to then come in and help dissect their issues and provide multiple recommendations, short-term and long-term that they can focus on solving.
That's really nice. I think again, when you hit the professional services level, it's not the ones and twos really that it's going to hit anyway. It's more, from what I know of going to professional service, if it is a one and twos, it's one of the ones that can afford to spend the money. But the bigger groups who are using the products, maybe not using it to the best way, and have those challenges where professional services comes in and goes, we'll fix all that for you, and we'll review it, and we'll make it better.
Yeah, the way we see it is that we still think the ones and twos need the support. So we need to curate an affordable package that those single operators can wet their beak, provide some EBITDA value, allow them the kind of space on their P&L to invest. We do a lot of work with single operators.
Amazing.
And I feel like it's important to do so because we all start with one restaurant.
No, I agree. I think it's amazing. I think the challenge sometimes is that for me, if I was an operator, getting market ban and getting a professional services in, you're right. It's if you need to allocate budgets for the right things.
Great. Yeah.
It might not necessarily be the marketing budget, but if you get everything done right.
Yes.
If you put the right tech stack in place with the right POS and the right stock and the right order platforms and the right loyalty, the word tech stack wasn't really around back in the day. And now we're plugging in best of breed is amazing because you get to plug in some of the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
So,
and for a long time, we did a lot of work for free of charge for a single location.
I remember. I remember speaking to you going, I've worked like 3 days for these guys, so it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. And you are the sort of person that wants everything to succeed.
Yes.
So you will be like, I've done this for 3 days and we got there, and I'm like, it's taken me 3 days. So I remember you speaking to you. So I will say that you do once you have a bone in your mouth,
yeah, we want to see it through.
Yeah.
And we want to do it properly the first time.
I agree.
And upskill our customers.
Okay, so we are getting to the end, and I can probably talk to you all day, every day. So that's really exciting, and congratulations. I'll give you another little round of applause on that one. So that was well deserved because you have literally... this man doesn't stop working. Like literally, I don't think you can see the light of day for a while sometimes. But you've been out because you've got a bit of sun.
I know.
So well done. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
But okay, so we're gonna go to standard questions. Best restaurant.
Hawksmoor. Love it.
Okay.
Super consistent.
I agree. Great.
Delicious.
Amazing. Best burger.
Zephyr.
Yeah.
All the way out in Plymouth. They used to have a site in Peckham.
Okay.
Absolutely delicious. They've won National Burger a couple of years in a row.
I actually had Tommy from Honest the other day.
Yeah, but their double smash is also delicious.
No, don't.
Can I have two?
You can have two. You can have two. But I'm just saying, we were talking about National Burger Day, and I was saying to him that we need to bring it back.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask him to help. Maybe you can help too.
Awesome.
Okay, so what's the second burger?
Honest.
And
they're double smashed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think double smash actually.
Oh, it's pure perfection.
I've tried the smash, and not the double smash.
Yeah, it's
okay.
I don't know. I need 2 patties.
I agree. Okay, best hotel.
This is a hard one because I don't sleep out at hotels in London very often.
It could be anywhere though. Abroad or anywhere in the world. Anywhere. The best hotel you've been to.
Maybe this is a bit of a weak answer, but I really like the Hoxton in Shoreditch.
Yep. Great hotel.
It's stayed there a couple times, but just everything down there, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's great.
Nice. Okay. 2 questions for the next guest. Could be an operator, could be a marketer, could be anyone. Could be Nick. Could be anyone. So 2 questions for the next guest.
What makes you get up in the morning and stay motivated to go and deliver a great day for your customers?
Okay, that's good. That's a good question. And number 2?
Need to think about this.
It could be anything you like. It could be a personal question. We had Lawrence from Piggy the other day. Was like, "What do you think of Dutch people?" That was hilarious. And I love him to bits. But so it could be anything or anything.
Yeah. So I guess what makes you love this industry?
Yeah.
What was that defining point that you knew that this was the industry you wanted to be at?
Nice. I like that. That's really good. That's a good question. We've not had those questions yet, so that's good. That's good. Okay, we are at the end. I'm going to give a round of applause. Thank you so much for coming. This is Ellie from Twice Baked. Give everyone a wave. Thank you so much. More technology challenges, but we get there in the end. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.